まあ感じたいけど。
Introduction to the SHA-3 hash algorithm. SHA originally stands for secure hash algorithm. That's where the name is from. Okay. A little bit of history. Most popular hash functions in practice: colon, Doppelpunkt, and now in Gänsefüßchen quotation marks is the MD4 family. I should say similar to block ciphers. There are many block ciphers have been proposed. The same also hash functions. There's a whole zoo of hash functions out there. What people use in practice, again, similar to block ciphers. Block ciphers most people use nowadays triple or AES. Similar to here, the vast majority of people use an algorithm from the MD4 family. So, and it started with the actual algorithm MD4, which was published in the 1980s, in the 80er Jahren, 1980s. I don't know the exact date. And then got broken. Okay, that died, meaning people found collision. They got updated. The newer version was MD5, which was widely used actually, and that was proposed in 1991. And surprise, surprise, that got broken too. So these were cryptographically weak functions. Broken meaning people found collision, and that's actually close to you and me, because it was broken by Professor Dobertin, who was the first crypto professor here together with me. Studying in 2001, he was the main person behind this attack. I think in 95, around the time. So that was broken. And then now it's getting really interesting with respect to practice, because in 1995. What's known as SHA-1 was proposed by NIST, the National Institute of Technology, and this is super widely used, as in every web browser on planet Earth pretty much, right? So a lot of people use it, and that was a real shock because it was theoretically broken. The principle of the attack was proposed in 2004, but people, at least outside the intelligence community, weren't able to do the attack. So but then the actual attack happened with the good demonstrators earlier this year, so this is brand new. I think that happened 5 months ago or so. People actually broke again. What did they do? They constructed a collision with a PDF file, kind of similar to the Goofy example with the 10 euro transfer, the 10,000 euro transfer. They were able to come up with 2 PDF files with different semantics, different meanings, and you could completely choose the meaning of the files with this output here, this collision, right? So this is pretty dramatic. Okay, so but luckily, things are not as dire as it seems, as substantial as it seems. In SHA-2, it was proposed in 2001. So quite a few years before that happened, but the world is inert, träge, slow. People don't like changes, and a lot of systems didn't go updated. Lots of web browsers still use SHA-1, and that seems so. This is bad, and this is a check mark. Okay, so this is still secure. Nevertheless, people were not totally happy with this attack here. So parallel to SHA-2 is closely linked to SHA-1. This is kind of a SHA-1 on steroids. It's an updated turbo version of SHA-2, the turbo version of SHA-1, and it seems totally fine and secure right now. Nevertheless, people felt a little bit uncomfortable because there's an attack against SHA-1. So, and now we come to the actual topic of today. They started, after 2004, they started worrying, will SHA-2 really stay secure, and kind of to keep things secure and to really make sure we have a good hash function. They started, after this attack was announced the process of finding another hash function. Okay, and this hash function is now what's the SHA-3 competition by NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, so somewhat comparable to the Deutsche DIN, but very, very active in crypto standards. They do an excellent job, generally speaking. Here's a brief history. So in November 2007, you see, about 3 years after this, the theory of the SHA-1 attack was proposed, there was a call for algorithms. And that was an open call, so every IT security student, people like you, could sit down and invent your own hash function and submit it to NIST, and hope that you will be successful and that your algorithm will become a world standard. Then the submission deadline was October 2008. They got 64 submissions, and I'm not totally sure about this number, whether it was actually 64, because I think a few were excluded. But it was around that number. Does anybody remember how many submissions there were for the AES? Any other guesses? 16 or 60? 16 pretty close, so 50. So what I found interesting, so that was 10 years earlier, is that right? 10 years earlier, there were only 50 submissions. Right. December 2010, so about 2 years later, they reduced the number of algorithms that survived. There were 5 algorithms left. And they were called the round 3 algorithms. Why? Because there were 2 rounds before where algorithms were eliminated, either for security reasons, but also for efficiency reasons, right? So these were the 5 algorithms left. And on October 2nd, which is funny because October 2nd is also the day that NIST same day of the year, the AS candidate that Reiner won, and it's the birthday of our son, so let's all remember that, on October 2012. Out of these 5 algorithms, one algorithm was selected with this, and that's the name of the algorithm, is Sketchup. Sketchup is selected as SHA-3. So very briefly, this was some kind of selection process, right? Who saw the Hunger Games, the movie Hunger Games? Yeah, excellent. Who hasn't do that just for next week's homework, right? This was Hunger Games, right? 64 submissions, they tried to kill each other, right? And one person won, so this. So, I mean, this is a really fascinating / boring history of SHA-3. Let's look a little bit like in the technical details, right? But the super high level, what were the requirements? So, the SHA-3 requirements by NIST were as follows. And this is a hash function. Arbitrary. This is, of course, arbitrary, right? We talked about it in great length last week. You know, you can put in 64 bits or 64 gigabytes. This is SHA-3. What is crucial is the output length, which we call n up there, right? And NIST said we want to have 4 different output lengths, you know, depending on the application. Namely, the possible lengths are 224, 256, 384, and 512 bits. And these numbers seem weird, in particular those 224 and 384. Yeah, why don't we talk about it? So, what is the attacker resistance for 224? That means how many steps does an attacker need to find a collision if you have 224? I'm listening. It's not 2 to the 224, that would be really huge. How many computations does an attacker have to perform to break that? Yeah, exactly. Why is that? Up there, right? You roughly have the bit length because of the birthday paradox, right? That was the homework assignment for today. So, meaning the attack resistance that you get from this output length is 2 to the 112. Where did we hear that number 112 before? Which other crypto algorithm has an attack resistance of 112? Yeah, triple death, exactly. Triple death in our assumption is 3 keys, so that would be 3 times 56 bits. This would be 168, but there's this meet in the middle attack, exactly. So, and that's why they dictated that, meaning if you have a system which runs triple death and there are many systems left, you can choose a hash function which has the same cryptographic strength. If you look at 256, you have an attack resistance of 128, which is the bit length of which most popular algorithm on planet Earth of. Which algorithm has 28-bit key? AS. That's difficult. 384 divided by 2 is 192, which is also AS key length, right? Which is not that widely used in practice, and then probably more importantly is if you divide 512 bits, you get an attack resistance of 2 to the 256, which is the longest AS key length. So what we have here, we have 4 cryptographic strengths, the security levels, sometimes called security levels, which is a nice match for the widely used algorithms, which are also standardized by NIST. Okay, so that was the end of the first little chapter of today, and now we get into the brutal details of Sketchup. Okay, so chapter number 2 is the high level. I think I switched boards here. High level description of Keccak. So the internal construction is very new, very innovative design. It's not, meaning it's totally different from MD4 and MD5 for 1 SHA-2. And this is one reason Keccak was chosen, because it's so different. That's based on what's called a sponge construction. Sponge, which is a beautiful German word of Schwamm. Schwammkonstruktion, right? And it has, you will see in a minute, it has to do with this absorbing. You know, Schwamm sucks up water, and then you can squeeze the Schwamm, a sponge, and it releases water, right? That has to do with that. Just bear with me, you're going to see that in a few minutes. Sponge construction is, maybe let's write that down, so there's the absorbing phase, Absorptionsphase, okay. Input xi is direct in and processed. So again, the input is, you know, verarbeitet, eingelesen, verarbeitet. That's the absorbing phase. You know, it's like if you open up a sponge, it sucks up water, this sucks up the input bits. This is the absorbing phase, and then once it's done, the squeezing phase happens. Output is produced. So now we talk about the Keccak parameters. One very important parameter is the state Zustand. It's like the buswidth, the internal buswidth, which is similar to, if you remember AES, the state was 128 bits. You know, internally the algorithm, you always operated on one bit word of 128. So in Keccak you can configure, okay? You have different buswidths, if you wish. So the state is lowercase b, kleines b, which follows the formula 25 times 2 to the L, which is weird, but you're going to get a better idea of that in a little while. And L can take the values 1, 2, up to 6, meaning the possible internal bus width of Ketchak can take the values 25, 50, we always double, right? 100, 200, 400, 800, and 1600, 1600, depending how you choose L. And now you need a red pencil. This is Ketchak here, okay? Ketchak is quite universal, you can do a lot of things with it. When you talk about SHA-3, Ketchak and SHA-3 are not identical, meaning Ketchak can do many more things. If you want to use Ketchak as the standardized SHA-3 algorithm, only this is SHA-3, okay? You can run the algorithm and it's probably highly secure as well with this, well, not, it's a very short one, let's say it's 800, but this is not part of the SHA-3 standard, okay? 1600. So the number of rounds, internal rounds, the iterated algorithm, you know that from DES, we know that from AES, the crypto algorithm, this block size for rich type of constructions, they tend to be iterative. It means you don't do this hashing once or this encryption once, but you do it multiple number of times. Oh yeah, how many rounds does AES have? It's a good question here. Exactly 10, 12, and 14, depending on the key length. And it's similar to here. As you play around with the state width, the number of rounds has to increase, and the number of rounds is plus 2 times L. And again, in this very important case for SHA-3, you have the longest length here. For L equals 6, you have to punch in L equals 6, and NR becomes 12 plus 2 times 6, which is equal to 24. It means probably for all practical purposes, it means probably for the rest of your life, right? The next 40 years that you're going to be a successful cybersecurity professional, you're probably only going to deal with NR equal to 24, right? It means the SHA-3 implementation you write, you're dealing with probably only runs with 24 rounds, right? You don't have to worry about this formula anymore, right? What's important for you is what's here in red. So there's another parameter which is very important. We're going to produce a little tableton. As we saw here, right? SHA-3 has different possible outputs, and let's look at, and this is all SHA-3, you know what I said before here, that you can vary the state, the bus width. This is kind of, in practical terms, it's always the longest one, because it's the only SHA-3 one, right? You're never going to use Ketchak with an 800-bit bus, probably, because you always want to stay with SHA-3. But these are different. I mean, the standardized SHA-3 allows 3 possible output lengths, right? And then depending on the application, which the linear hash function was 256 or 212, that depends on the application, and there's a good chance that you're going to deal with various output lengths, right, in practice. So now let's look at the different output lengths that are supported, meaning 224, 256, 384, and 512. As we saw before, the bus width is always 1600 here. And now it's getting interesting. There is the R, which this is the block size, okay? Meaning in particular the input and output block size, you know what it's like in AES the block size is always 128, right? But here it does vary depending on the output length. Namely, this is the longest one is 1152, 1950. In the next block width is 1088. So these are kind of odd numbers. Then 832 and 576. Then you have a third parameter, which is called the capacity. This is the capacity. And you're going to see in a minute when I start drawing this big block diagram, you know, we like big block diagrams in this lecture about the algorithm. This is always the difference between the block size and B, so you have to subtract, so this is 448, yeah. I don't know how good you are with Kopfrechnen, with mental arithmetic, right? 1152 plus 448 equals to 1600, right? And it holds always, so the next one you get 512 bits of capacity, you get 768, and you get 1024, okay? Why is that important? We're going to see that in a minute. So now comes the most important part of the lecture, so in case you're doing YouTube right now, start to wake up, okay? Oh yeah, and you may want to, if you're taking notes, you may want to start a new page and turn it landscape, right? Normally we write like this, right? Turn your page, right? So this is just, you probably cannot see, so I used the whole DIN A4 right, densely written and gekippt, okay? So let's look at Ketchak. So, and start on the top of your page. We're going to need every square millimeter of your page here. So, here we have what's called a pre-processing stage. This is our, and we call it an exception. Normally, normally we call our input X, right? But X is used at a different point in the algorithm, so we call our input M for message here. Oh. Yeah, genau. Yeah. This is, thank you. So this is not 833, thank you so much. This is 832, of course. I'm sorry. Excellent catch. Gut aufgepasst. Okay. So first we do some pre-processing. I'm going to comment on that in a minute. And then the actual algorithm that we're interested in happens here, right? And this actual algorithm is sometimes called the inner Ketchak. So this is really what Ketchak is about. And this whole thing, we make a dotted line, gestrichelte Linie. So that's the Ketchak algorithm, or SHA-3 algorithm. And now comes kind of a little bit weird thing. So what happens here is, so that's the output, and what we expect here is n bit fixed output. Actually, we talked about that at great length last week where we said, well, we want to have one fixed output, right? 256 bits, for instance. What you can do with SketchArc, remember there is the, what is it here? No. That's the absorbing, it's a squeezing phase. It's a squeezing phase. What you can do, first of all, you can, of course, compute one output, y, which is, let's just call it y for now, which is the hashed version of m, right? And that is what we expect, right? We get, let's say, a 500 cross bit output here, okay? But you can, this is SHA-3, again. Rote Kreide, right? This is SHA-3 here. You get one output. But this was the absorbing phase. You open up your sponge and you suck in all the messages here, right? 10 megabyte. Illegally downloaded movie, which you want for whatever reason, right? And then when you squeeze, for SHA-3, you just squeeze your sponge, your schwamm, a tiny bit, and you get, let's say, 500 bit out and stop. But you can also continue squeezing and you get many, many more bits out. You don't need that for a hash function, but you need that, for instance, if you need pseudo random numbers, you can squeeze your sponge and you get many, many more bits out, and then you get y1, y0, y1, y2, okay? So this catch-up allows that, and this essentially has nothing to do with what we want to do in this lecture today, if you want to do a hash function, right? So for a hash function, and this is the majority of application, just compute y0, it only takes the bits that you need from here, but if you want other things with the with SketchArc, such as generating random numbers, or using SketchArc as a stream cipher, so use it as a stream cipher, as a keystring generator, you can generate many, many, many more bits here if you want, right? Okay? For hash functions, this is not needed for hash functions, you stop here, okay? And there's some confusion, I think, in the literature, I don't think this is always terribly well explained. So what you do in pre-processing, so just that we're not going to talk about that, in pre-processing, the main thing you do padding, and we had that with RSA padding before. The easy thing to remember is here, the inner SketchArc needs this, you see this column R, die Spalte R da oben. So you need, for instance, for the, if you want to have 224-bit outputs, you need 11,152 input bits, or a multiple of that, right? This is a block. Very often your PDF file has some other lengths, right? And padding deals, there are kind of weird rules how to extend the input so that your input becomes a multiple of 1152, right? Vielfaches von der 550. And there's some kind of weird rule how to do that, we're not going to talk about it, it's in the lecture notes which are on the internet. Okay, so, we again, what we're interested in is this inner SketchArc. This is not so important, this is relatively unimportant, right? Cryptographically speaking. Now we start about the important stuff, so we're going to look at the inner SketchArc. So the inner SketchArc, here starts the sponge construction, so you have the absorbing phase. You open up the sponge, you suck in the water, you suck in your input bits, right? These are the bits of your illegally downloaded movie, right? 10 gigabits. This is the absorbing phase, followed by the squeezing. Oh yeah, I should have said it earlier. So what happens after the pre-processing? Now we talk exactly about the stuff that we used to, namely what we have here. Now we have the input bits, input words x0, x2, and so forth. Okay? So after the pre-processing, the actual input has again the notation we're used to. The xi is the input, the actual algorithm that we're dealing with today. Okay, so what we have to talk about is the absorbing phase and the